see how to achieve this look, keep on watching. So I skin prepped off camera, and later on I'll show you guys every single thing that I use, but for now let's just get into it. So here I'm just applying powder over my face before I do my foundation because I have oily skin, and this is a technique that I use so that I don't get oily throughout the day. Okay, so first I'm going in with the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, and I'm just applying that all over my face. I don't go under my eyes because I want to leave that space for concealer. And now I'm using the black opal stick in the shade Karab, and I'm just going to place that on my forehead, my cheekbones, and my chin. Next, I'm going in with the Made by Mitchell Cream Blush in the shade Sweet Cheeks, and I'm just going to apply that right underneath my eye. And when blending it out, I'm blending it right underneath my eye and on top of my cheekbone, but I'm bringing it forward as well. Here, I just wanted to be a little extra and add a little bit more blush. Now I'm going in with the Milani concealer in the shade 150. So I always start off with a shade closer to my skin tone first, just to neutralize my concealer and not have it so bright at first. Now I do like a super bright under eye, and in a second you'll see me go in with a shade probably 3 times lighter than my skin tone. And I always blend out the smaller areas of my face first, because when I'm blending out the smaller areas, I'm not putting so much product on my brush for when it's time to, blend underneath my eyes. I don't have so much product on my brush, and it's easier to blend. And when blending underneath my eye, I always make sure to start off blending outward, like the edges of the concealer first, and then go inward, just so that it's easier to blend and I'm not getting messy with my concealer. And notice how I'm patting and not swiping. It's actually kind of like a pat swipe, but I'm more so patting than swiping. And now I'm taking my foundation brush and just blending out the edges of the concealer so that everything blends seamlessly and you don't know where the concealer started or finished. And now I'm going in with that brighter shade. I think this is the shade 140, but it's the same concealer that I used as the first shade. Now I only applied that in my inner corner, and I'm blending it outward, but I'm more so focusing it like right under my eye. You want to make sure that your brighter areas is mainly or directly in the center of your face. Next, using a powder puff, I'm going in with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm going to set everywhere that I concealed, which is under my eye, my forehead, my nose, and my chin. And notice how I'm not applying so much powder. I literally put just a little bit on the powder puff and dab it on my hand and just press that in. And now I'm just going to use whatever is left over on my powder puff and set the remainder of my face. Next, I'm using the Juvia's Place bronzer palettes, and I do mix all 3 of those shades that I just shown you, only because I don't like such a harsh bronzer. So I want to mix in that lighter shade with my 2 darker shades first. And this is actually based on skin tone and preference. You don't have to do this. Then once I neutralize my bronzer, I go in with the 2 darker shades. And and I'm applying bronzer everywhere that I cream bronzed. So everywhere that you apply cream, you're just going to apply powder on top. Now, a lot of people always tell me that they have problems with contouring their nose. So I always say you want to fill the bridge of your nose with that brush, like right on top of the bridge of your nose, which is that side bone of your nose. And you want to use a really, really light hand, especially to begin with if you're not comfortable with doing it. And you want to blend it into the top of your eyebrow so that it all blends seamlessly. And just to be extra, I bake on the side of my nose just so that my nose contour can show a little more. Now I'm using a Juvia's Place blush palette, and I mixed that light pink with kind of a darker pink just to get that perfect pink shade for me. I love a super bright pink, but I also like it a little warm to mix well with my bronzer. Here I'm going in with the Maybelline press powder, and I'm just pressing that into my skin and kind of carving out my bronzer just so that I can have that defined jawline look. But I'm also going to apply that around the rest of the areas of my face as well, just to blend everything seamlessly and make sure that it all comes together. So for my brows, I'm using the Morphe eyebrow pencil in the shade Chocolate Mousse. So you need to make sure that you brush out and shape your eyebrows first so that you get a clear view of how you're going to want them. Now, instead of drawing out my eyebrows, I'm using my natural eyebrow shape and basically just filling in my eyebrows. I'm doing hair-like strokes and just filling in the spaces of my eyebrows. Since I really actually have naturally thick eyebrows, it's just me filling in the tail of my eyebrows basically. And you want to make sure that you use a light hand. You don't want to go in too dark because it's really hard to take product away. You always want to gradually add product. Now to conceal my eyebrows, I only conceal the bottom. I don't do the top. I feel like it gives it a more natural look. And I'm using that first shade in the Milani concealer that I used earlier in the shade 150. And I like to only use a little bit of product to start off with. And like I said, I always like to gradually add product. I feel like when you start off using a little bit of product, it's way easier to work with and way easier to actually see what you're doing. If you're using too much too soon, it leaves room for more mistakes. And those mistakes are really hard to clean up. So I just drag that concealer down to the top of my eyelid and just blend out the concealer using a small concealer buffing brush. Here, I'm just setting that concealer with a little bit of the translucent powder so that my eyelids don't crease. And I'm not big on eyeshadow. I really don't like doing eyeshadow looks on myself. I don't really like the way eyeshadow looks on me. So I just go in with that bronzer and put it all over my eyelid. Now I went in with that bronzer again just to smoke out the bottom of my lashes a little bit. I don't know, I just like the way that brown looks under my eye. And now I'm just going to dust off all the excess powder that was left on my face. Now this step is optional, but I love a bright under eye. So I'll go in with the lighter shade in the press powder, and this is the shade 230. And I just press that right underneath my eye, and those are the only areas that I go in. Now, although you don't have to do this step, a little trick I like to tell people: if you added too much blush, or if you feel like you just went a little too heavy on a blush, you can go in with the press powder right on top of that blush, and it will diffuse the blush, as you can see here. Because after I swipe away all that excess powder, I'm going to have to add more blush because I like my blush heavy. But if you feel like you added a little bit too much for yourself, you can always do this step and it'll diffuse it. Now I'm going in with the Morphe lip liners in the shade Trendsetter and Brulee. So I like to overline my lips, so I'm going to go in with the darker shade, which is Trendsetter, first. And then I'm going to use the lighter shade just to give it that ombre look. And with using that darker shade, I kind of like to go over my natural lip line. Now using the lighter shade Brulee, I'm going to go right on top of Trendsetter. And I'm also using that pencil to basically blend those two shades together. Now I'm going in with the Sephora liquid lipstick in the shade 32. Then I'm going to use a clear gloss around the perimeter of my lips, basically where I put the lip liner. Quick little backstory on this lip gloss. I was in Dollar General the other day and I seen this lip gloss and it just brought back so many memories from when I was a little girl trying to play in makeup. And this was my staple lip gloss. This was my everyday lip gloss. So now I'm going in with the Morphe lip gloss in the shade Polished Peach. And I'm just going to apply that all over my lips. And I'm kind of mixing it in with that clear gloss as well, so that it can like blend well and have the perfect ombre look. And not all the time, but sometimes I like to use a brush like I'm doing here, just so that I can blend it easily and that I'm not mixing it too much with my lips. And it basically just stays where I place it. Finally, I'm going to use the Morphe setting spray and spray this all over my face. And I'm just looking at myself like, yes, ma'am. That's tea. After letting that setting spray dry, I do like to go back in with my bronzer and my blush, just because I feel like sometimes after that meltdown, it can kind of make your face just look like one. So I kind of want to make sure that everything still looks defined and you can see my bronzer and my blush and like everything is still popping out, you know? And make sure you're tapping off some of that product just to make sure you're not going in with too much. But for me, with blush, you can never have too much. Here, I'm using a e.l.f. mascara for the bottom of my lashes. You want to always make sure that you use mascara at the bottom of your lashes just to make sure those lashes are popping. And I really love this mascara. This mascara helps your lashes look longer. And please don't mind my son's head in the background. I had to tell him go away. And this is the final look. I hope you enjoyed watching. Bye.